Okay. Okay, great. Greetings, everyone. This is Veronica Chiaravalli from Sweden. My project name is called Elysium Gate, MultiplanetaryX Command. It's inspired by Stargate and Star Trek and my vision of multiplanetary exploration and colonization. So it's Mars, the moon, and so on. Let's see. The spaceport. This is how my spaceport looks. It's called Nexus Gate Alpha Red Horizon Launchpad. The multiplanetary approach. Yeah. Well, it's important to say that the MTP, it comes from the exponential community and mindset. It means massive transformative purpose. To simplify, it's the North Star. It's like everything that you do has to do with your MTP. It's what makes you wake up in the morning with the energy, the passion to start the day. This is my vision of the a spaceship. Maybe there's a spaceship in the near future. We don't know. I added some music here. It's a very long, I mean, it's more than 300 pages. So I'm just gonna, show you some images so you get the idea. And then I will go in and talk about the pandemic. So this is the MTP. This is my North Star. It's the Moon, Mars, Titan, and beyond. I added Titan recently because I believe that interplanetary exploration is possible now because we are living longer. I did research about longevity, which is included in the presentation. And the vision is as follows. We train and lead pioneers of the interplanetary frontier, explorers, visionaries, and analog astronauts, together with emotional and sentient robotic companions. We forge resilient futures on the Moon, Mars, Titan, and beyond. Through exponential innovation, we rise toward a Type 1 civilization where humanity thrives, not just technologically, but emotionally, ethically, etc. I have a little thing here that is in my way. Ethically and cosmically. So what does it mean? It means that this is real, actually. We are shifting towards a Type 1 civilization. And we need people to step it up. The time for exploration is now. So the Mars Society and Habitat Marte is on the right track. It is the right time. And from the exponential point of view, there is an exponential curve that is now at the elbow of the exponential curve. This is where we are now. This means that we're about to take off very exponentially, and ChatGPT is just the tip of the iceberg. So there are many things that are happening at the same time, and this time it does have to do with humanity. So all the efforts that Dr. Zubrin has done before and still does today, all this is worth it because we are now taking the leap towards Mars and the moon, both. So let's go. Let's see here. Let's see. What is an MTP? I explained. I added a video where Ismail Salim, that wrote the book Exponential Organizations, explains what it is very clearly and with short, words. Interplanetary leap, the curve is calling. I explain about the curve. We're not just building, and also my vision. We're not just building spaceships. We are igniting belief in ourselves, in humanity, in the leap that's coming, the Moon, Mars, Titan, and beyond. This is the elbow of the curve. This is MultiplanetaryX. Join the journey. Wake up the dreamers. Let's build what's next together. The understanding. Okay. The interplanetary travel with a focus on Mars. This is what I'm doing right now. Requires an entirely new way of thinking. It's exponential, human-centric, with exponential speed, new structures, ready for pioneering innovation, focused on building a Type 1 civilization with converging technologies and understanding the world around you, be it a moon or a planet. This is what's happening right now. Technologies are converging. So we are seeing that medicine is converging with AI, robotics. We are seeing amazing visionary projects around us, all around the world, and breakthroughs are happening. And these breakthroughs build on each other. So all this is happening at the same time. So it's time to think big. It's not a bad idea to think 10x. Because this is the world that we're living in today. The elbow of the exponential curve. Here I added the 60s of exponential growth. Peter Diamandis is an innovation entrepreneur. He works with space as well. He has many companies. He's visionary, and he's the right person to talk about, exponential growth, what it means. He's super passionate, has a lot of energy. So I added this, for people to understand, to go more into this, the topic. Okay, so let's keep it a little bit. It's a long. Oh, why am I doing this? I have to explain that too. Okay, I worked with the pandemic before when studying social entrepreneurship via Copenhagen Business School. They have an initiative. At that moment, they had an initiative called COVID Wise, and I had my pioneering project there. And what I did a lot of research on it, and I understood the impact, global impact of COVID Wise. And I got an honorary mention for my work. I did not disclose everything at that moment. I didn't have a team in place or anything. I was just doing everything by myself. But I felt that something was missing, and when I changed the perspective, and I looked at things from the space entrepreneurship perspective, it just went, wow, it went exponential. And my ideas they started coming, and I got this energy and passion, and I'm laughing all the time. I don't know what's happening, but I got all this energy that I didn't have before. And so what I understood is that I'm on the right track now. And so it's I think the exponential approach is the way to go about it. Because COVID-19, we take this as an example, right? We don't know what type of pandemic we're talking about on Mars, but we can take COVID-19 as a reference. Well, COVID-19 it came into the picture and it disrupted everything. So it's about disruption. For example, people were forced to work from home. Companies just had to, all of a sudden teach their personnel to adapt to a new way of working. They did not have the training for that. Lots of things happened. People lost their companies, some lost their jobs. So what I mean with this is it was a situation of crises. And when there's a crisis, leadership has to be in place. Because when there's a crisis, people turn to leadership. So this is super important, that we must have leadership in place. And it's very important to notice that high stakes leadership is the way to go about it. So I have included in my presentation a case scenario from, all this about high stakes leadership. There was a case from the space, airline industry, okay? And a very famous person wrote about it. Here, let's see if I can show you the picture. I don't know if you can see it. Okay. Well, it's blue. It says High Stakes Leadership in Turbulent Times by Mike Barger. And he explains very well what happened to them. And I think this is an excellent case for us in the space industry, because he and his team learned a lot from that situation of crisis. And what I saw also is that during the pandemic, it's like you can have the best structures in place, but it comes into the picture, it disrupts everything. This means, for example, like, what can I say here? It's chaos. It's total chaos. So, for example, companies must put a lot of money. Governments have to invest on a vaccine. There's a lot of impact. So it's impact, social impact. This is important. And if we take it to Mars, well, there the impact is even higher because there's isolation, more isolation, less personnel. Maybe you're waiting for a spaceship to come with food or something, or machines, whatever. And then all of a sudden you have a pandemic, right? Inside the stations. So you have to go through all these quarantine and measures, safety measures, etc. All of a sudden, so you have to be prepared, but you also have to be prepared emotionally, psychologically. This has to also be in place. And then we could also have unexpected situations, things that we haven't thought about before. So we have to be able to innovate as well. So innovation is very important. The way I solve this is studying how a pandemic impacts from different angles, right? And the social angle, the technological angle, the angle from the space side, everything. And so I studied all this, and I selected, the best way to go about it. And then my solution, to summarize things, is creating a very different type of leadership program, high stakes leadership. I created it in my MILP program. That is also for analog astronauts, but space professionals as well. And yes, so I created my MILP program there. So I think that high stakes leadership is the way to go. And I also incorporated robots, because we are at the beginning of the robot revolution everywhere. I mean, there's so much happening in China, and China is moving so fast. So the robots will be part of our lives here on Earth. And if we take them to space, they can help us even with health issues. Because these robots will be able to speak with us. It's like ChatGPT inside a robot that will be able to communicate with us. And this means emotional support. It means that we can like do research as well. The same thing that we're doing now with ChatGPT, but inside a robot. And so if we take this to space inside a station, it's very good. Because if we have to be isolated because of the pandemic, we could have robots inside the room, for example, and that way we can decrease the exposure to a pandemic. And maybe that robot can go from one station to the other and transport things, carry things that need to be carried, like food, I don't know, whatever, machinery, small instruments, you know. So it means a speed of transportation there, a smoother process. It also means that we can give these robots tasks that they can do during that time. They could, for example, in the case of the robot dog that I designed, it can detect signs, that, for example, things that are going on in your body regarding health, right? And so you can have this input, very fast. And that tells you what you have to do. So AI, robotics, that changes everything. And they could even, for example, work with 3D printers, work with the plants, be our emotional support, follow us when we go out, to explore Mars, carry heavy things, and even help us if we have an emergency situation, right? Somebody falls down, gets hurt, the robot could pick you up and take you back to the station, right? And we could also have feedback from the robot. So this is my solution, but there's more. There's even more. There's also a band that exists today here on Earth, and you can, for example, you can connect it to your Apple Watch, and you can like, interact with your devices via gestures, right? And so how can you use this in the case of Mars? Well, I think that, for example, you come very tired from an exploration. You come into the station and you can, instead of picking up things and moving things around, you can, like with haptic movements, get things done, right? And then, of course, you have the robots that can do the rest of the work. So this is very exciting, actually, because we are going to have connectivity on Mars. So I did research regarding the connectivity as well. What's going to happen? Yeah, well, there's another thing happening right now, that health is changing. And we have something called longevity escape velocity. So I did research, I added everything here. And so, for example, Peter Diamandis has a website about longevity and what things you can do right now on Earth to improve your health, and to find out if something is going on in order to act, and fix it. And if you take these lessons that he gives, his book, website, etc., his research, if you take that approach to Mars, it means a lot, because it means that, for example, less training, you have guys that are already made from research, right? You are already, for example, you have already changed your habits on Earth thanks to the guides, and you're more prepared to go to another planet or moon because you have changed your lifestyle already. So you have a more resilient body, and you are able to adapt in a faster way when you get to Mars. So longevity escape velocity is bigger, you know. This means that for every year that you lose, you get one back. And then as we move on, we come to a point when we just live for many, many, many years. And so what does this mean? It means that we are ready for interplanetary travel, because if we have a healthier lifestyle and body, and we can escape velocity, we will be able to travel long distances without the fear that we will die on the way, or that we will not make it on time, whatever. We're more prepared for longer distances. And so what does this mean for Mars? It means that Mars is not going to be a problem at all, because it's not so far away. And this also has to do with the pandemic, right? Life Force book is something that Tony, another entrepreneur, wrote about it together with Peter Diamandis. Another important thing is that we have a linear mindset, but we live in an exponential world, which means that what we think is going to happen in 10 or 20 years is going to happen in a very, maybe in a couple of years, very, very few years, right? It's the exponential world in which we live in today. And this is important because we think that we're going to go to Mars in 10 or 20 years, but that's not true. And Elon Musk is sending his robots next year. So this is now. We are doing the right thing as analog astronauts to get all the skills now and help others on the way. Yes, let's see. I think that we will have faster spaceships. For example, I saw visionaries on LinkedIn, and they are sharing their projects. And so I saw a space elevator and a spaceship, and so people are bold. Right now, they are more daring. It's not all bad news. The bad news is on YouTube, okay? But if you look at it very carefully, there's also good news happening, a lot, big things. And so I think that the problem with spaceships is going to be solved. We're going to have faster spaceships. Um, yeah. So, yeah. So, extraterrestrial life is not a dream, it's a reality. Let's go. Well, here I explain why I'm working with this, why I'm doing what I'm doing. I have a love for space. I have an inspiration from Carl Sagan's uh, books, and here I added a video and more things that I have and I like. I'm not only working with my company, on the, about, for example, training programs and all that. I'm also disrupting. And my goal is to create the type 1 civilization. This is what I'm doing now, even with this presentation. I have now created the blueprint. It's now for real. And type 1 civilization is a peaceful civilization that practices consciousness. And I think that humanity right now has to focus on this, becoming a type 1 civilization, and really focusing on the problems that need to be solved. This is what we should be focusing on, not that it's the end of the world, the bad news and all that. We don't have time for that. We're moving pretty fast right now. And so here, type 1 civilization, also known as a planetary civilization, is a society that has mastered all the available energy and resources of its home planet. This includes harnessing 100% of Earth's solar energy, wind, geothermal, and other natural forces. And I added some more things there. So yeah, what does this mean? Well, for example, global cooperation on technology, communication, and sustainability. That's what we are about, sustainability development goals. High efficiency infrastructure spanning land, sea, air, and now space. So I see that we have a new world already here that's going to require us to think exponentially right now and to work with collaborations. I see this world as a world that we're going to be collaborating with each other, and we're going to have robots around us. And it's not that they're going to take our jobs now, they're going to help us out a lot. It's just that we need innovation in order to incorporate them in our lives in a smart way, right? Just like we're doing with ChatGPT. Um, yeah, let's see. Well, here I add more information, but we're gonna move on. Strategic foresight in an exponential world where there is a lack of high stakes leadership and the stakes are high. Yeah, today we have a world in which the stakes are very high. We have a lot of tensions. We don't know if we're going to have a war, like World War III. We don't know that. I mean, there are a lot of conflicts. So conflict transformation is another thing to take into consideration, even when we move to other planets or moons, that it's not about the solution is more like a transformation. We have to get out of the conflicts. We have to think in a different way. And this is super important. Because, of course, we're people, and when we are under pressure, we can react in different ways. Some people get scared, others run away, others fight, right? And so different reactions are seen here. And so it's important to know that there will be conflicts, even if we have the best dreams and intentions. There will be conflicts because there will be different ideas. Some things will go wrong. Some people will think that, okay, let's go this way. The other people will say, no, let's say that way. And so we have to find a way to sit down and talk about these conflicts and find the best solution, right? And so this is important to take it right from the beginning, to address conflicts in a healthy way. Robotics. Yeah, well, robotics is moving super fast. I will add reports about the robotics revolution. But I came across a video about China, and China is merging brains with robots. That's super scary. It sounds sci-fi, like Frankenstein, something. So, I mean, China is, I see it's giving it 200% of everything, time, energy, money, they are going for it, like 200%. So there's a competition rising, and it's very strong. And so we also have to get into robotics, and we have to find a way to incorporate it on Earth and beyond. And I don't see it as a problem. I love robotics. I'm for example, a fan of Isaac Asimov's, foundation collection, and my favorite book is I, Robot. So my father used to buy robots for me when I was small, every year, and different robots. So I don't know if there's some, meaning that I don't know in the cosmos, that maybe it was meant to be like this, that today I would be doing this and helping people that are going to settle on Mars and incorporate robotics. Let's see, high stakes leadership. So here, what I did is I added a lot of key takeaways from the JetBlue case. What happened to them? How did they deal with the crisis? This is important for us because from these teachings, we will know how to deal with a crisis on Mars, especially during a pandemic. Uh, yeah, and then something very important. Never forget that during a crisis, all news, even no news, is news. So this means that you have to get out there and give people news, even if you don't have any, you have to like tell them where you are. So this means more responsibility on your shoulders. And you will have to make decisions under pressure with very little or no information. That can happen. So, yeah, it's good to have protocols in place, but you can also have chaos and emergency happening. And for some reason, you can't get to the protocols, something happens. And so you have to be ready. So you have to be ready to stand up and tell people what they need to hear and be able to handle the situation so it doesn't become chaotic. You have to have a system in place. This is what it means. Um, yeah, it's a very complex situation. Yeah. Well, here I talked a lot about the pandemic, everything. So it's a long one. I can tell you it's more than 300 pages, so I can't go through it all today. But it's all there. I'll see what else I can. Well, here I just created the Starship blueprint. This is now the civilization type 1 thing. And it has to do more like with culture and all this. So this is the creation. Let's see. Then I come into the rooms. Yeah, well, here I have some ideas. Yeah, here is more research on how to handle the pandemic. Pre-departure quarantine, minimum 14 to 21 days on Earth, medical screening, advanced virology scans, genomics-based resistance profiles. Yeah, there are unlimited real case studies on pandemics in space, but we can extrapolate from Earth-based analogs like submarines, Antarctica missions, and the ISS, and some speculative Mars-focused studies. Here's what stands out. Yeah. Well, I think that once people colonize Mars, we're going to have so much information and case studies that will help, new generations come in later on, and they will have this ready, for them. It will be super important for humanity to have this in place. Let's see. Well, here I talked about containment protocols, vaccination. Yeah. Well, this is what happens on Earth, for example. Let's see. Well, some ideas: telemedicine with Earth-based support, delay-tolerant networks, holographic counseling pods, pre-recorded therapy plus AI emotional support routines, health monitoring wearables, real-time vitals, cough detection, emotional state analysis. What's the idea? The idea is to have these robots up there monitoring what's happening with our bodies, telling it us turning to us in real time, and and then we have in place the protocols, and yeah, well, we're gonna have to solve it with technology. Elon Musk will be needed in order to help with the connectivity. The robots will be part of the way to fight the pandemic, and help us explore Mars safely. And then we also have programs like to teach people. I have, for example, I added information about the book Psychology of Space Exploration, and that's a big one. And yes, let's see, Astronaut Experience Endurance by Scott Kelly. I think that's a great book. I mean, this talks about his real experience, and personal journaling helped preserve emotional stability and process stress. So it's important to have a journal. Conflict is normal. That's what I was saying. Long-term missions spark friction. Clearer roles and humor helped diffuse it. Sense of mission, staying aligned with purpose overcomes isolation. And here is where the MTP can come in place. When you have this North Star, right? You have a purpose, right? And conflict, well, we have conflict transformation there. And then humor helped us. Yeah, well, I think that these robots can also express humor and makes us laugh. And I mean, if you ask ChatGPT to write down some jokes, it does the job. So just imagine a robot that speaks to you, is emotional and sentient, like Data from Star Trek, that can say jokes and interact with you. And so you can have this humor already. Yeah, then I added experience from astronaut Chris Hadfield, right? Commanding the ISS. Hadfield served as the first Canadian commander of the ISS, overseeing numerous scientific experiments and operations. I think I saw him on YouTube playing the guitar and singing. It was very nice. Okay, yeah, here it says, yeah, this is what I was mentioning. He gained fame for his rendition of David Bowie's Space Oddity, recorded aboard the ISS, bringing attention to life in space through music and social media. So you see that people are very creative, right? Educational outreach. Hadfield has authored several books, including An Astronaut's Guide to Life on Earth, sharing insights on leadership, teamwork, and problem solving. Inspirational video, I added the link. Uh, yeah. So having fun in space is also important. Being creative, practicing the hobbies that you like. And I also took that into account with this band that I'm going to create that is inspired by another band on Earth, but I'm going to add the different features, and it's going to be for off-world scenarios. So I think that the things that I will be creating will be more for off-world, for Mars, the moon, and that's super interesting. And I think that Elon Musk is also there. So yeah, it it's looking pretty good. Let's see. Well, here we have another case. Astronaut Sian Proctor. That's a geoscientist artist and the first African American woman to pilot a spacecraft, serving as a pilot for SpaceX Inspirational 4 mission. So she participated in the first all-civilian orbital mission, emphasizing the importance of diversity and inclusion in space exploration. That's also important. You have to include people, right? And be able to work with different cultures, right? And yeah, so this is very important. We have to get along, right? Even though We come from different countries. We have different backgrounds, different beliefs, different religions. And this is going to get more complicated now when AI is everywhere and there are different approaches on what's going to happen, with that. So there are many philosophical discussions going on already. And I think that these discussions will continue when we get to Mars. So we have to already now pay attention to this because we're going to have to uh, address these questions, give some answers, give people information so they know uh, the best way to go about it. And then it's up to them what they want to do with their lives, right? Yeah. Okay. She actively promotes STEM. Well, I think that STEM is important. STEM education is super important, but I think that STEAM is even more important. That's STEAM. The artistic side is very important. Yeah. So I would go even farther. And what I see here is the impact that is going on now in the US, that some universities are not getting the same money as before. The government is changing so many things that it's like education is never like happening as it should happen. And it's not looking like they are really prioritizing it so much. We need this education, and even more when we are going to send people to Mars. And so I think that we can take upon ourselves that part as well, right? So yes, so I added some links here. Yeah, insights from other astronauts. Deliverables, the website. Yeah, well, I created a website. I'm still working on it, but I launched it already, so people can access it. I created a game. Here, I go through high stakes leadership. It's very important because when there's a crisis, people turn to leadership. And this is what's going on right now on Earth. They turn to leadership, but they don't find that leadership because leaders are finding it increasingly hard to manage the challenges they are going through, and so there's chaos, and this affects the people. They don't believe in the leaders anymore, and then there's so many conflicts going on, and so in space it's very important that we show good leadership, right? And so I brought in Mike Barger. He's the best to talk about this. Yeah, well, yeah. He discusses the importance of stakeholder engagement and the skills necessary to navigate crisis effectively. This is the pandemic. It's a crisis, okay? You have to navigate it, and you have to have leadership in place. And so what's happening here? Yeah, in his case, for example, when a crisis abruptly came into the picture, he had to inform the stakeholders first. It's not that he has to inform the families of the people that are in the airplane or whatever. No, it's the stakeholders first. So you have to know who are your immediate stakeholders, right? Fast. Well, of course, on Mars and in the station, you have another type of situation. Yes, that you have the people there they have to take care of. But you also have to connect to Earth to tell them, hey, we have this problem. You have to take the responsibility to tell them the truth, right? And it's not easy when you have a crisis situation to confront it in the best way that is needed. So it's all about that, taking the responsibility. And here I have the case, leading through crisis webinar. Yeah. So yeah, there's a lot about this. Internal design, well, 3 floors layout, operations and launch control, career research quarters, engineering and storage. I don't know how much time I have, okay? Machines technology is necessary. Well, here I put like autonomous drones for pad inspection and repair, AI-driven launch control and anomaly detection systems, regulatory processing units for pad maintenance, etc., life support and bioregenerative systems, robotic cargo handlers, and robotic assistants for crew support. Yeah, these are my assistants. Believe it or not, I already thought ahead of time that robotics is coming in the picture now here. Yeah, but we're taking it to space now. And Elon is coming with them in the year 2026. But I have yeah, I have my robots, but they will have other features than the ones that Elon has. And mines will have like you can see their face, right? And they are emotional and sentient, so it's different. Yeah, they look different, and they're gonna have a different role. It's not about picking up packages, and helping you around the house. They're gonna have a direct role that has to do with health, you know. So yes, uh, resources in situ or transported in situ, Martian regolith for construction and radiation shielding. Water extraction units, atmospheric gases, CO2 for oxygen production, and fuel synthesis, solar and nuclear power sources, and then transported from Earth, high precision sensors, specialized medical supplies, initial seed stock for biogardens, critical spare parts, high-tech computing hardware. Wow, there's so much. Really, organizational structure. Command director Veronica. I'm gonna have 4. Okay, I'm still rearranging things, but I'm gonna have 4. I'm gonna be the commander, and then I'm gonna have 3 more persons, and then I'm gonna have the 2 robots. One is a robot dog, and the other one is a humanoid robot. Yeah, command director, strategic leadership, mission oversight, crisis management. And this is part of the strategy to handle the pandemic. Launch operations officer oversees all launch landing procedures, safety checks, coordination with Earth Mars mission control, robotic system lead, life support manager, medical officer, training officer, communication specialist. Yeah, well, let's see, astronaut training program, VR AR, robotics operation and troubleshooting, life support, emergency protocols, psychological resilience and team dynamics, environmental hazard response, dust storms, radiation, issue and maintenance basics, communication protocols, and multilingual AI assisted translation. Yes, if we have a ChatGPT inside a robot together with us, we're gonna have help in translating things. Uh, so it's a solution. VR. Well, regarding VR and AR, I have today a Rocket AR glasses, and I'm waiting for the Station 2. It comes from China, and these glasses are great because you can work with several screens at the same time. So you can be working with your Gmail, writing Gmail, and you have another one with a video from YouTube and other things. So this is amazing. And I think AR is gonna also play a very important role when people are on Mars inside the stations, right? VR, well, VR there is immersive. right? And then I, for example, am introducing the metaverse. I have you can say customized metaverse platform called Weirdway, and that's where I'm holding meetings with the society, and also I have made it very immersive. I have the Mars room, the Moon room, etc. And so when you go into them and you sit down and you have, you know, very big pictures and you feel like you are on Mars, you know. And then you can have, for example, meetings. You have the blackboard in front of you, and you can have a meeting like if you are, for example, on Google Meet or Zoom. It's the same thing. It's very simple without any technology. For example, you don't need a headset or anything. You just connect like you connect on Google, and then you have this meeting, but then you have an avatar that you can design yourself, and so you are there as an avatar in an environment that is inspiring, having a meeting, right? And you can walk around, and I have 2 floors with holograms, and each hologram takes you to another scene. And for example, the way I'm doing it is that I have meetings, right? And then we take a break, and then we go to one of the hologram rooms, and there, for example, in one scene I have a showroom where I show the work from the space author Alistair Storm Brown. He's an author that I have been coaching for several years, and he is now launching his second book. And so I made a showroom where people can, you know, walk in, click and see a website or video or an animation. So it's interactive. And then I have another scene where you just go in an island, you know, and you can run and walk and sit down at a bar and have something to drink. And so that's to like relax, you know. And then I have another place as well that is like a big theater auditorium, right? And then I have one that is an apartment that you can go in, sit down, have a coffee, talk, go out into the balcony and see the sea, the sky. And so this is super relaxing. And I think this would be a great idea if you're in a station that you can feel that you are having these meetings in another place, walking to these scenes, and maybe in the future we can have better platforms, right? And make them even more about space, right? And so I think that the metaverse is also interesting. Now, with Elon Musk coming into the scene with his Starlink, connectivity is going to get better. And so I don't see this as an obstacle, you know, the metaverse and all that. And who knows, maybe he creates even more products that are not out there today. Yeah. Well, psychological resilience super important. Psychology, I see a future for a space psychologist. I even think that we're going to be working remotely even more than today. Um, and team dynamics. Well, team building is super important. I helped some companies when they were building their company, for example, the Space Railway Corporation in Texas. It's huge company. I mean, they have an amazing vision. So I help them. Yeah. So team building. Intro to Mars Launchpad operations. Who's in charge here? Let me see here. Hold on. Yeah. How much time do we have, Julio? YouTube videos. Yeah. I don't know where Julio is.
You
Well,
need to conclude, but
what?
you need to conclude, but
Yeah.
Follow the steps, okay?
Yeah. Okay. So here are the YouTube videos where you can learn about emergency procedures, robotics, life support, psychological well-being in space, communications, etc. That follows the template, resources needed for 1 week. Here I put everything: food and water, fuel, medical emergency supplies, maintenance, power, training equipment, consumables. Guidelines for other facilities, entire station, guidelines for other facilities, entire station. Here's everything: shared communication protocols, unified training standards, etc. Say specific protocols, routines of the facility. Orion Command Hub. Well, Orion is the humanoid robot. So, and here, here are different things that we're going to be doing. And the times, right? Wake up and medical check-in, AI-driven biometric scan, and mission updates briefing. At 7 o'clock, physical training, Mars adapted resistance workouts led by virtual coach Aegis. At 8, crew breakfast and sync, nutritional rations, and group coordination led by duty officer. At 9, module assignments split into launch operations, systems maintenance, robotics interface, external inspections. Yeah. See, 12:30 launch plus Earth sync time, real-time window for Earth-Mars communications. Okay, this is very long, but I have done all this. So this done. Protocols of safety. Well, Orion is the humanoid robot. So here I added more things, right? So Orion is going to be, it has been already incorporated into many things. He has his job roles here. And this is very innovative, and we are ahead of time with this. We have already incorporated robotics in our stations here. So well, protocols for food micro production. For food micro production, we have modular hydroponic towers, grow leafy greens, microalgae and mushrooms, bioreactors for protein paste, crew rotations, or astronauts tend to plants, psychological grounding, accountability, compost to capture system to cycle waste into nutrient gel for regrowth, protocols for 3D printing, Mars resource-based. Here we have Martian regolith composite, MRC, combined with biopolymer matrix, printed product, pad tiles, hexagonal, launch pad plates to shield from blast, erosion, and dust storms, repair drones casings, print exoshells for robotic maintenance units, smart tools, custom wrenches, lock seals, and structural brackets. Protocol steps, I added that as well. Collect regolith, sift, heat treat, combined with e-through binder, print on demand with AI quality inspection, assign re-sterilization if tool was exposed externally. Technologies and outputs applicable to Earth. Well, these are my projects. I already put a name on it, Pegasus Horizon. And so this is the emotional robots are going to come into the scene. This is the one I'm going to add. The number 2 there, I'm going to add the name of the project, that has to do with the band, right? Where we can, with the gestures, interact. Technologies and outputs applicable to Earth, Mars dust resistant solar panels, bioreactor food tech, psychosocial VR tools, AI health monitors, sold there. Well, yeah, here I really went into the communications. I think this is very important because if you see the movie The Martian, for example, you remember that there was a problem with connectivity, right? There's also a problem with connectivity even with the moon that is nearer, that there's this delay. This delay can be super important because robots are sending information to Earth all the time, for example. But if there's an emergency and you have this delay, it's crucial, right? And so taking into consideration the communication in this case, and on Mars that is longer, farther away, is super important. Because if we're gonna like innovate, and bring in technologies, we need to know if they're gonna be working, right? If it works. So I think that having a technical person that knows about this is also very important, right? That's going to tell us what can be done. I mean, what is possible and what is not possible and what is on the way, So this is something to take into consideration. So, Julia, I think that would be interesting also to add. Maybe having a webinar from Elon. Maybe Elon would be willing to tell us what he has in mind when he gets to Mars. What is possible? Because we also need to know that part, right? Yeah. Well, so I added information about this and some links. I did some research already. And then I made questions regarding connectivity. And so these are questions that we can ask Elon to take it further. And then maybe prepare a webinar about this ourselves even, right? Or teach it to other analog astronauts. Well, here's a person that is interacting. She has a band called the Mudra Band. I added the link to the video. And so what does this mean? Well, this means that you can be in the station painting, doing something creative, something that you love, right? With a band like that, but with other features, of course, because we're not copying, we're gonna create something new. But I think that this can be also a solution to a lot of things. It can make our life on Mars funnier, Okay, I don't know what happened to, yeah, wait, hold on. Yeah, here. So yeah, it's gonna be more fun with this. Okay. Oh, I don't know why it sends me to another place. Okay. There seems to be some link there. Hold on. Okay. Yeah. Well, Julia, do you want me to continue here, or what do you want me to do? Let's see if I can go to the other page.
Yeah, you need to.
Yeah, well, I can show you what the Mudra band looks here on Earth. Yeah.
At this point, there's a possibility we can get the second flight. And the only reason we don't get the first flight is
Sorry. Well, here you see they have something called the Mudra band and the Mudra link, and the Mudra band works with Apple Watch. And so you have your Apple Watch, and then you have the Mudra band, right? And then you have the Mudra link, and the Mudra link connects to other devices, not Apple. So it's like, with the Mudra link, you can connect to Android device, for example, and then with the Mudra band to Apple devices. But I think that when Elon gets to Mars with his Starlink, we could actually partner, and if he's interested, and create our own band, call it something else, expand the features, and this could be part of our lives. So that's the idea. So what I see here is the potential for a new type of products that we can call, for example, off-world products that are made for that planet or moon, and that Ellen can be part of it, and this will make his vision become bigger. And I think we can have all these innovative projects going on, actually. And so my goal is to build a type 1 civilization. And so I see that a type 1 civilization could actually be created on Mars, and even on the moon. But I think that on Mars it's more possible. I think we can do it because Ellen will be there, and he is open-minded and a visionary. So I think that we can have this line of products. So I have a very big vision about this. Yeah. Let's see if I can go to the next page. Okay, guidelines for daily life on Earth, inspired by Mars. Here I have guidelines for daily life on Earth, inspired by Mars, resilience routines, mission-driven living, eco-conscious design, mindfulness through scarcity. Reflect daily on how luxury on Earth is survival on Mars. So it's like you have to have another type of thinking, right? Adopted crew roles in families, teams, schools. Okay, so it's not just about us, right? We're going to have later on, family, kids, right? So we're going to need education. We're going to need a different type of education because we're going to have another type of life there. And so we're going to have to see what is needed. What are those skills that we need to have? And that the kids need to learn right from the beginning, right? So education is super important, actually. Yeah, so let's see. Sustainability Development Goals, SDGs. So I added here all the SDGs and, like zero hunger, good health, quality education. That's what I said. Affordable, clean energy. Now, energy is something that we have to pay attention to because that's what describes what type of civilization you are. And so we have to solve energy for sure. That's what's going to permit us to become a type 1 civilization. And affordable clean energy, industry innovation, sustainable cities, climate action, partnerships, all these are sustainability development goals. In my case, it's industry innovation, like 3D printing, robotics, AI protocols. Yeah. So here I have some references. And there's a book called Psychology and Human Performance in Space Programs, consisting of 2 volumes. And I'm actually focusing on the one that has to do with frontiers. SpaceX, the Starship Mars Operation White Paper, UN SDG 2030 Agenda. Yeah, there's an agenda there. Institute for the Future, Foresight Framework. I studied future thinking from the Institute for the Future, ESA Mars Exploration Roadmap, Habitat Marte Training Content, NASA Technology Transfer Portal. Although the references, Human Evolution Hub, Beyond Biosurvival, Aboard Pioneer's Threshold. Well, here is where I'm going to be taking care of the mental, emotional, and sentient tech stack of our spaceport. It reflects, our high stakes leadership, space psychology foundation, and post-biological foresight. So here, there's a visionary approach to it all. Orion Command Hub. Orion is the humanoid. Gateway to conscious exploration and high-performance survival. Laika's the doggy. She also has job roles here to conduct emotional climate scans every 6 hours, initiate mind-body sync protocols using explained before, using the tech, offers micro-interventions, holographic therapy, AI-assisted meditation, pay for VR interludes, Laika's favorite protocol, Starlight Synchrony, a mood-responsive VR dome for guided deep rest. Yeah. Orion, the conscious AI nexus. That's a humanoid, interprets longevity data. So we're going to have these robots that are going to be working with data. And they're going to give us a lot of information that we need. And it is super important in the case of a pandemic where you have to act very fast. So this is pioneering innovation. We are disrupting everything that has been done so far with via NASA and all that. We're taking it farther, right? And into our lives there. And I think that in the case of NASA, they are doing amazing things, yes, and they have been doing for a long time. But the only thing I can say is that they need to move faster. I mean, we have another speed right now. We need to take this leap. And I think that what is needed there is to become bolder, to be bold, to dare more and to get it done. And so I think that mindset has to come in now. And I think that we can do it. We can get it done. Let's see. Host holodialogues, astronauts converse with their future optimized selves. Yeah, because actually, if you look at the videos from Peter Diamandis, he created his own like self, right? A clone of himself. And so he can look at the clone and talk to the clone. But the clone is in reality like a, AI person, like a ChatGPT, but that looks like you and that talks back to you. And, that could be also a psychological way of handling things, right? You're talking to an AI that looks like you, right? But that makes you like, think about things, reflect upon your thoughts. I mean, is it the right decision? So things like that. So that can also be a change. Longevity and consciousness model. Okay, so this is what is happening. Well, we have a lot happening right now with longevity, and there are different paths. And for example, Peter Diamandis already starts on Earth. Then we have a more radical path. That's Ray Kurzweil, that has been working with AI for many years and is working, at Google. And it's all about the singularity there, that the singularity is nearer. That is his latest book, as far as I know. And then we have another person that is a visionary, and he has another approach. So yeah, here are some things. Yeah, Stephen Greer. When it comes to civilization type 1, Stephen Greer is the person to go to. And this is important because we have a chance now to change things, to not commit the same errors that we committed on Earth, and to start fresh right from the beginning, with a new mindset, better education, and civilization based on peace and consciousness, a healthier civilization that builds on longevity guidelines, a more resilient civilization, you might say, that can solve these problems with pandemic. Yeah. Like us all, like us the doggy. Yeah, so meet Laika, our empathetic canine-inspired robot, engineered with effective computing and responsive AI. Laika monitors crew emotional states, offers companionship, and assists in psychological debriefs. Her protocols include heart rate detection, haptic comfort, and mood monitoring. Yeah, let's see. And I'm actually inspired by a product that is not out into the market yet. Okay, C5, this I have to take away because I wanted to bring the inspiration from Stephen Greer, But then some things are controversial, so I don't want to go into these controversial things. I just want to take the part that has to do with consciousness, meditation, peace, this. So I have been running with these things, the slides. Yeah. So let's see. The Arian is the strategic brain of the Nexus. Arian evolves over time, learning from crew behavior to optimize workflows and mental load balancing. We're going to get a lot of help from these AIs, that's for sure. Yeah, well, here I go in deeper into what they do. And then I talk about the band. Here I talk about the
Veronica,
yeah. We're coming to an end. Okay, we can wrap it up.
okay.
Space technology going to get down there.
Yeah, well, here you get a quick design. Let's go. You didn't see the designs. This is designs. Let me go quickly here. Well, here are here's what they look like. These guys. That's what they look like. You can see they are very different from the designs that Mr. Elon has. These look more like us. And this is like on Mars, and I really love this picture. Having this robot that interacts with us makes our life more fun. Plus, has a very important role with health. So this is a vision. This is part of our lives. This is why she looks, her features. She's loyal. There's some things that we can, add to her. Then comes the habitat. The dormitories with the beds and everything, the crews. Yeah. Management. Here comes our roles. I'm the commander. I have a very special role here with everything. I combine high stakes leadership, psychological support, because I studied space psychology and will be going deeper into it, and robotics integration, decision making, crisis management, pioneering innovation, and AI robot human collaboration. And here I just invented some names here, and the roles. Yeah, and then we're gonna have the robots, the non-human crew. This is what I'm integrating here. Yeah. See if we can go faster. Music, movies, Interstellar. There's a lot of things here that can inspire us. MELP program is my MELP program that I have on one of my websites that one can go in and see. And I will also added the link to it. It's an animation. Here are the series that we can learn from the astronauts, resource guidelines, protocols, etc. Yes, well, here you get a quick picture at it. Yeah. Department, this is what the metaverse looks like. You see, this is the Mars room. That's another picture. And this is a friend of mine and me. We're in the meeting room, and we are looking at a video. And you can activate your this so as the person can even see you. For real. You can have this. So this is his avatar and mine. This is the board meeting room, and we have 2 screens there. These are the holograms that take you to other scenes. Well, this part is the exponential entrepreneurs part that has to do with health and book clubs meetings. We talk about the books that help us with entrepreneurship. This is me interacting. There you see me. You can see me even on video. This is the apartment. And there you have another room that has to do with space stations. The protocols for food. Let's see, we're gonna have, okay, I don't want to take time away from other people. I just want to show you that everything is there. There. Yeah, sustainability. I added this at the end, so it's there as well. All the, oh, here comes the books. See, this is the books that I advise. So I went very deep into longevity and things that can help us. Becoming bold, longevity, exponential organizations is where we get the exponential model. The future is faster than you think is when where we can really understand that that these technologies are converging and what it means, the impact. Life Force, Tony Robbins did a lot of work with that. And here we have the COVID-19 pandemic. This book brings many insights. Awaken the Giant Within is very inspirational. And then we have the sci-fi part, the pale blue dot, which is beautiful. You know, they have a video where he talks and there's music in the background. And here I brought the Pioneer's Guide to Living on Mars. And this is great because I think that we have to think more like pioneers. And of course, we have Dr. Zubrin that has amazing books as well. And yeah, so thank you. And this is it. Yeah, and then I added all my links. And thank you, Julio. Sorry for it being so long.